And Jrue Holiday got traded to the Bucks. It's a good thing for the Bucks. A good thing for Giannis. I like Jrue Holiday on this team. I like Chris Middleton on this team. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about, just what I thought and how he's going to impact the Bucks. First thing, his defense. Major improvement from Eric Bledsoe. Not to say Eric Bledsoe was bad or he was a slouch, but Jrue Holiday is definitely a huge improvement on that side of the ball. You've got like three elite perimeter defenders now: Chris Middleton, Jrue Holiday, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. So it's looking pretty good for them. You still have Brook Lopez too, so that's really good. Second thing, his shot creation is gonna ease a lot of pressure off of Giannis. The biggest issue with the Bucks the last couple seasons has been one, the predictability of their offense, and two, Giannis just being too one-dimensional in my eyes in the playoffs, really. So like teams will just load up in the paint, and then it's like Giannis isn't a good enough playmaker to make the right play every time, and the shooters around him aren't that good to where when he does make the right play, they're like hitting it like it's automatic. So with Jrue Holiday, Giannis doesn't have to do all the shot creating alone. They had Chris Middleton, but we see how he played in the playoffs. They had Malcolm Brogdon, who they should not have let go. So it is what it is. And they had Eric Bledsoe, and we saw how that went. Obviously, wasn't that good. So they got rid of him. Let's talk more about his playmaking. I guess I really talked about his shot creation, how to ease off the pressure, but let's talk about Jrue Holiday as a playmaker. He's a good playmaker. He averaged a good amount of assists for the Pelicans. Uh, Sorry, I spaced out, but he averaged a good amount of assists for the Pelicans last season. A pretty solid playmaker. Hopefully, he averages more assists than Giannis because I want to see him run the one more instead of Giannis because I feel like Giannis would just be more suited as like a not a traditional big, but he needs to be in the pick and rolls more. Almost use him like a Draymond Green that like scores way more. Because you see Giannis, like he brings it up the court. He's elite in the fast break. We all know that. But he brings it up the court. He's pretty good at that. He can score on pretty much anyone. But we saw in the playoffs that the Bucks got exposed for just being way too simple. Same thing with the Rockets. Like they got exposed for just they just couldn't they just weren't that good at the end of the day. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully Mike Budenholzer is a smart enough coach to realize, okay, what we did in the playoffs did not work last season, so let's change up. Let's get Jrue Holiday the ball. Let's let him go to work. Let's let him make plays for others. Let's rely on Giannis a little bit less. Next thing, Jrue Holiday is an average, if not solid shooter. He shot 34.5% from three this season, and that's not great. That's not that good. But we have to take into account that he was on a losing team with a pretty good coach, but he took the most shots when Zion Williamson was not on the court. So, and he had Ingram, but like the Pelicans weren't even a playoff team this season. So, I feel like he can shoot a good 35-36% from three in his best seasons. So, we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully, he can space out the floor for Giannis and just hit big shots when he needs to, because clearly Eric Bledsoe couldn't. They got rid of him for a good reason. A quick little side tangent. They got Bojan Bogdanovic. He is a great knockdown shooter, average defender, and I feel like if he's running either the four or the three, that's going to be really good for them. The reason I say that is because I feel like I feel like Giannis should still run the power forward. I don't think he's best at the one, the two, or the three. I feel like he should run the four or the five. The reason being, like that just makes your defense like way more, like just so much more versatile. Giannis can guard literally every position. He's getting rebounds, running down the court, turning on the Jets on the fast break. So I feel like that'll make the team's offense a lot better. I don't know. I just like Giannis at the four and five. I like him there for his defense and mainly for getting the boards, running down the court, and going to work. Some things I don't like about this move, they gave up a lot of first round draft picks this offseason. And I see that they're trying to win because they want to convince Giannis to stay. But those picks come back to bite you. Like the Nets found out the hard way. Teams like those that just traded a lot of draft picks to get good players, they learned the hard way that like you trade your future away and it doesn't look too good. The Nets they could have had, not could have. They could have had the chance at players like Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic, players like that, but they just traded all their future picks away, thinking that they could win 2 to 3 championships if they had KG, Paul Pierce, and Joe Johnson. Not to say that the Bucks are in a similar situation because they have a transcendent talent in his prime right now, and he's like a Shaq type. Like he's so unstoppable and he puts in a lot of work. But he's only on a 1 year deal. He can leave after next season, which is what I personally expect him to do. Because I don't see a reason to stay with the Bucks. I don't think they're going to win a chip. So there's literally no reason for him to stay with the Bucks. It just doesn't make sense. Another thing, Jrue Holiday. While he is a good player and he's a great player, I just don't know how I feel about like. And I know I said he can be a good shooter. I don't know how I feel about his jump shot yet. I mean, he shot 34% this season, and he was taking a lot of shots, but I don't know. But the last thing that scares me about this team is Mike Budenholzer is still the coach. That's the scariest part. I don't know how I feel about him being the coach because what he did, his scheme this season, it worked in the regular season, but they literally got exposed in the playoffs. It doesn't look good on Giannis's resume to be exited that early in the playoffs 4-1 by a Miami Heat team that wasn't even like nobody had them winning the chip or nobody had them going as far as they did. Not to say that they aren't as good or like they weren't good enough to beat them. They were just a better team, but it's just not a good look on Giannis's resume, I would say. But with that being said, I guess my last thing, they dumped Bledsoe's contract or they got rid of his contract. He was on a bad contract. They got rid of him. That was great. They got rid of Ilyasova too. That was good. So, but with that being said, that's the end of the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, comment. Let me know what you want to see next. And this is Nate from Anything Goes signing out.